Welcome to the top 5 rackets of 2023. Now, you may think this is the deja vu. You've already done this.
Don't do the same video again, Josh.
That is very, very cheap. However, this is not the same video. These are specific.
Yes.
I struggle with that word, specific.
Yes. So yeah, these are the... so do I. These are the exact rackets within the range
Good save.
that we like the best. So we've done our video on which range of rackets we think is the best. These are the exact ones within that range that triumph.
And I think that people like this. This is the detail. This is the nitty-gritty. We may even include some string setups.
Oh, wow, okay. There we have it. We're going to take you through our top 5 rackets of 2023.
And there's been quite a lot of debate about this, about what gets in it, what doesn't quite make it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and number 1 especially, a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, we each have our favourites and we play different styles, and we have to sort of come to an agreement.
Some players are better than others.
Yeah, exactly. Some players are better than others. So you have to come to an agreement, and you have to do some compromising. It's all very mature, on the most part. Yeah. Shall we get to it?
We should probably get to it. The people have things to do.
So let's start with some honourable mentions, and this list could be quite long. It could involve any of the other 5 rackets, to be honest, because we debated these long and hard. But the first of our honourable mentions is the Wilson Shift.
And specifically the 99 Pro.
Yes.
The best racket out of the whole range, of the whole family. There's the 99, 97 and 99L. So it's slightly heavier and a really, really lovely racket.
Yes.
Reminded me when I first used it of a little bit pro staffy, and actually maybe sits, I only just thought of this, maybe sits nicely between a pro staff and a blade.
Yes, I think it does. I think it's a brilliant addition to the Wilson range as a whole. It's not a racket that I love, but it's just a particular style of racket that I don't really love in general. Interesting you say about the pro staff comparison. I actually saw Greg Ruzetsky, Britain or Canada's finest, testing the Shift for the first time. He was a long-time pro staff user and picked up the Shift 99 Pro and was playing that and really liked it for similar things that he gets from the pro staff, but with a little bit more ease of use. So there you go. Greg knows, we know.
Us and Greg, we're like that.
Yeah. The second of our honourable mentions is a real surprise.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's like the Extreme last year being being our number 1 racket. It was the surprise element that almost boosted it up because the expectations were so low, and that is
Prince and the Beast. Now, the first thing with the Beast you have to get out of your head is the cosmetic. Now, some people quite like it. Personally,
I think maybe it's for a younger audience than us.
I actually prefer the pink version.
Do you? Okay.
To the orange, same pattern. I think it's I think it's better.
I just think the name's a little bit naff, the design's a little bit naff, but the racket plays absolutely beautifully. When we reviewed this racket, people claimed that it was a promotion and that we were obviously being paid for, and that is absolutely not the case.
We wish.
Yeah, exactly. That is never the case. We were just so surprised and impressed by the racket that the review sounded far too positive, I guess.
So yeah, the Beast and the specific racket, which is what we're doing, is the 300 gram, so 300 gram, 100 square inch head version is the one that we're really into.
Yes, very much so. The final honourable mention, probably the closest to being in the top 5, a terrific racket, but doesn't quite make it, is of course the Babo AO 98. Now the rest of the range came out in 2022, right, Josh?
It did. So this is the only racket that gets in the 2023 arena.
Yes. So if you watched our other video about the best ranges, obviously the Aero isn't in there because the range isn't from 2023, but the 98 is.
The 98 doesn't quite make it into the top 5, and it's very, very close. And arguably, a lot of people probably say that it should have been. The reason why I think we've left it out is it's quite specific in the type of player that likes it.
Yes, agreed.
So if we're talking about your rackets that anyone could pick up and use and enjoy, there's going to be more people who would enjoy our top 5, which you'll find out very soon, than would enjoy this. There'll be some people who would love this more than all of them and think it's the best racket.
Yes.
But that's for you, that individual person, and we're trying to take a broader view.
And it's completely subjective. The Aero is not a range that I particularly like at all, albeit this one is very, very good, but there are just other rackets that we prefer.
Agreed.
All right, onwards now with the top 5 rackets.
In at number 5, our 5th favourite racket of 2023.
It's a Rolls Royce.
It looks like a Rolls Royce.
It plays like a Rolls Royce with very difficult steering. It is the Head Prestige Tour.
It's probably the first one that we had a bit of a disagreement about. It wouldn't be in my top 5. I would have probably maybe snuck the Shift in the 99 Pro ahead of it, but we had to, there's some other debates we had, so we settled on, it is certainly a very, very nice racket.
Yes, I think the 315 gram gives it, this to me, within the Prestige range, you've got, it seems like Head are trying to tick a lot of boxes, and I think for me, out of the range, this ticks the most. It covers the most ground of what you want from a Prestige. It's precise, it's got that plough through because it's got a nice bit of weight in it, but it's also slightly more forgiving than the really heavy and the older ones that were incredibly hard to manage. This to me is a fantastic racket and a very worthy number 5.
There you go.
In at number 4, we have got another racket from Austrian-based company Head.
Yeah, last year they had number 1, this year 5 and 4.
Yeah.
So things are going well for Head.
Easy when you release a racket every 6 months, whatever it is.
And it is the Gravity, and specifically, and this is actually very important within the Gravity range, it is the Gravity Tour.
Yes.
Not the MP, not any of the other ones,
Yeah.
not the Pro, the Tour.
The Gravity Tour is fantastic. The extra weight, the extra power you're able to generate, the thin beam still gives you plenty of control. It's really, really beautifully balanced racket. So the 100 square inch head, 305 grams, and it plays very, very well.
Yeah, it's just really a nicely balanced racket. The way, the string pattern and the head shape with the kind of wider, bigger sweet
round.
They're going for the bigger sweet spot, right? That's the whole kind of tagline. I think it looks very sharp as well.
Yeah.
So
plays beautifully, and again, so funnily enough, the Prestige and the Gravity, we've both gone for the Tour.
yes,
The tour level. So,
that is true. Who knew?
yeah. The Pros are also good, but just slightly more difficult to get on with, slightly a bit heavy for someone that's got weak wrists. But the Tour is fantastic.
So yeah, Gravity Tour, there you have it. Number 4.
In at number 3,
Toi,
a first entry for Yonex.
the maker out of Japan.
Yes, and this is the Percept 97D. Again, if you've watched our other video, the range is fabulous. It's a brilliant, brilliant range of rackets. The 97D, I think, is the best in the range. It's a 97 square inch head. It's 320 grams, so it is a heavy boy. But what you get out of that 320 grams is a little bit of additional power when you're getting through it, as well as the control and the precision that you'd expect from a thin beam bracket.
So personally, I would have gone with the 100D. But I think that's probably more to my playing style and what I like, having that slightly bigger head, but still with the added weight. I really, really enjoyed, and that was obviously a new model within
Yes.
the range. However, taking my personal preference aside and going with just what I think is the best racket in the range,
Yeah.
as a racket, then the 97D and everything it has certainly gets it.
And that's so. I think that with the 100, what you get is a little bit more forgiveness, a little bit more ease. But for me, when you're going for Percept, when you're going for those sort of precision rackets, drill down into it and really
That pinpoint precision.
Yeah, embrace that precision. So 97D, fantastic racket. In at number 3. Drum roll for number 2. We are getting.
That'd be a drum roll for number 1, not for number 2.
So we are getting very close to the number 1 racket, specific racket.
Of 2023.
But first, we've got number 2.
And it is a classic, but it's a
What?
new classic.
Yeah.
This is why, and this is partly why it's up here. So Wilson, we'll drop that hint, when they first told us about this particular model, we were very excited about it, and they were very excited about it, because I think it allows a new style of player and type of player to enter the Pro Staff family, the Pro Staff range, and it is the Pro Staff X. X 10.
Yeah, I don't really get what the X is for. 10, 100 square inch, I guess, but then it should have been a C.
I think they
for
meant
100.
C, but
Yeah.
obviously not as cool calling it a C.
No, but
So there you have it, the Pro Staff X.
yeah, perfect to get into the Pro Staff range. Perfect if perhaps you've been playing with Pro Stars for a while and you're starting to get a little bit tired with how difficult they might be and that precision. This just, because of the larger head, just allows a little bit more forgiveness while still having as much of that Pro Star feel as you can get.
I think also as the game has developed and as more and more people playing with a heavier and heavier spin, the spin potential of the X versus the 97 wins out.
Yep.
And that is, as well as it being more forgiving and kind of off-center hits and stuff feel that bit softer and more powerful, it's the spin potential that really impressed me with it. And it is, yeah, so for those who don't know, it's the same spec as the 97, the 315 gram kind of standard Pro stuff, but with the 100 square inch head. That's the change, and it's that opens up the string pattern a bit more spin, bit more power, bit more forgiveness, but wraps that all up very neatly into a very, very good tennis racket, which is why it's our second favourite, and it's number 2 for the year.
So in at number 1, the one you've all been waiting for, and actually kind of a clean sweep for this racket. It was our number 1 in the range, if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Now we drill down and we choose our specific, I've nailed that now, our specific racket in the range.
Yes.
So, without further ado,
the best racket, in our humble opinion, Yonex VOR 98. This is the 305 gram version, 98 square inch head. Yonex's spin racket, but we see it much more as an all-rounder and a very, very nice racket. String it up with some Polytour Pro, because I did mention we'd talk about some strings to those, but Polytour Pro in there. In blue, looks delicious.
Yeah.
Plays brilliantly. The dwell time, the ball pocketing. Back in January, when we were using this for the first time, I've never played before where I felt I couldn't miss so early on in a racket's life. It literally felt like the ball was like glued on the strings for a bit of time.
And just played.
Yeah, and it just went exactly where you wanted it. You could create huge amounts of spin with very little effort, and that coupled with the dwell time just is such a lovely feeling.
And I think while you get more power with the 100, I think what was impressive to me about this 98 was the amount of power you were able to generate. And I think that I play with an E-Zone, which is a more powerful racket overall than the VOR, but what was impressive about this was the amount of power you were able to generate while still having all that pocketing, all that dwell time, all that control that the VOR is so renowned for. Really, really impressive, and of course the number 1.
So there you have it, our number 1 racket of the year from 2023, the VOR 98. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, and any comments and any other rackets you think we should have considered. What was your favourite racket of the year? Put it below, and we'd love to hear your thoughts.